Welcome to the Fall to Grace. This is a podcast where we hope to bring a grounded, practical approach to spirituality and mystic wisdom. I'm Cyan Niehoff.
And I'm Connor Hatton.
And today's topic is love. This is love part 2. Opening your heart chakra, etc. If you haven't listened to the first episode, I would suggest you do that. Today we're going to talk about how love liberates, primarily. Which we touched on last time, but love is the liberating force that humans can access on planet Earth. So why don't you give us an introduction?
Sure, can do. I think we were talking last time about opening our hearts, and like most of us have this desire to be loved. It's like one of our primary desires, and it's like one of our primary fears is that like we won't receive that love. And it's like a love that we feel is promised to us and that we're not getting it. And we struggle a lot when we feel like we're not getting that kind of love. And there are a host of different things to unpack there, more or less, in that emotion. But love itself is not about holding on to anything or possessing anything. It's not that I have this person in my life who I can rely upon to be counted on to do X, Y, and Z, to kiss me goodnight and tell me good morning in the morning, whatever it is that we typically associate with love. Like you said, love is extremely liberating when it's true and when it's authentic. So I want to parse that out a little bit more today, because I think that this is a common kind of pitfall that we fall into, which is just like, why don't people love me more? Why aren't people loving me? And when we have that experience, we need to recognize that almost everybody is having that experience, that everybody has the sensation that like they're not getting the love that they want. And it's not that they're not getting the love that they want, it's that they're not giving the love that they need to. And that's the harder part here, is that the heart calls out to love. The heart doesn't always call out to be loved. The heart calls out to love. And so when we have that feeling, it's probably more to do with the fact that we're not providing the people and things and animals in our lives with love from us. The love comes from within. Love is in your heart. You are love. It's not something you have to go get. It's something that you have to find within yourself. So this simultaneously makes this problem a little bit more difficult, but it also makes it a little bit easier because the tool is right there. Mm-hmm. Whatever you need to access is right in you. So I was hoping we could talk a little bit about accessing that and a little bit about that fear of being unloved, because when we tackle that one, I mean, such a big one in our lives, that we free ourselves and we free the people around us when we're extremely loving. So I think I sent you this Maya Angelou video a couple minutes ago in preparation for this, but she talks about the loving forces in her life that propelled her forward. And it was not necessarily anything that she was doing well, right? Like we always think that being loved is like, I did something so good and now they love me for it, right? I'm such a good student, so my parents loved me. And we have this sense of earning love and earning affection from others. But true love is unconditional. So what does the word unconditional mean? And what is the difference between a conditional love and an unconditional love? A conditional love is something like that. Like, you did a good job, so I love you for it. But if you did a bad job, then I wouldn't love you for it. And I would maybe hate you for it. The unconditional love is, I love you when you're making mistakes. I love you when you're doing well. I love you when you're not doing anything. And I love you when you're going over the top. It's unconditional. It doesn't have that baseline of need to be met. It's just, I love you for who you are because you are here now. And I love you there because you're there now. You don't have to be in my proximity for me to be loving you. Mm-hmm. So understanding what that means to me has been a big part of my journey. But ever since I've been able to access that within myself, not outside myself, I'm a much happier person. So I'm hoping that we can give people a little bit of guidance on how to find that within themselves and just what it means to find it.
I think it looks something like forgiveness, forgiving the people around us for being who they are, or like you were just saying, forgiving a person for not even being in our general vicinity. And in that video, she's liberating her mom from being on this earthly coil as her mom is dying. She says, like, I liberate you. And then she finds out that her mom basically died, like, right when she said that. And yeah, I think that's a perfect example of unconditional love. Like, I love you so unconditionally. You don't even have to be in this mortal coil. You can just be in the astral realm. Um and when we love people unconditionally, we allow them to be authentic. And authenticity is maybe arguably the highest vibration there is. It's like it's a lovely vibration to exist at, you know? And so to allow the people around us full access to their higher self and their most authentic self is the most loving thing we can do. And when we let them be authentic, we let ourselves be authentic, you know? And that's like extremely valuable. But it does take compassion. It takes a level of compassion and it takes quite a bit of forgiveness because everyone has quirks and everyone's obnoxious in their own ways. And letting people be authentic, you really have to forgive them over and over and over again.
I love that. I often think of love in those terms. I mean, you said two really big things. One is that love is just active forgiveness. The other was that love allows people to be their authentic selves. So I'm going to try and tackle these in order, I suppose. But this idea of like love being active forgiveness is that, like, yes, people are going to do things that rub me the wrong way. And people are going to do things not the way I would do them, right? And they're going to, talk to people differently, and they're going to drive differently, and they're going to do everything. They're going to chew with their mouths open. Like all of these little
Mhm.
quirks that so many of us hate. Like those are things, like the thing that is offended in that situation, whether it be like my eardrums or my sense of security or whatever it is, that's within me. And that's like fundamentally the issue here is that is a problem that I have with people acting a certain way. And that's a belief system that I am holding on to. So when you're talking about active forgiveness in love, that's exactly what it means. As I'm recognizing that that is something that is offended within me and not a problem with you,
Mhm.
right? And so we internalize when we start to look at this through the lens of forgiveness, which is that nobody can be wrong for being. And there's no real right way to do 99% of things. There are a million ways to do everything. And so if somebody has learned to do it a different way, whether that be to just like have a simple conversation or like do something huge, like get married or something like that, like I have to recognize that whatever they're doing is going to be different from me and that that's okay. See, when we have conditional love, we say I need them to act the way I learned how to do it and do it the way that I'm accustomed to, and then I'm going to love them because they're doing exactly what I believe they should be. That's not the approach that we want to take because that often leaves us wanting. That often is much harder of a person to find. That's a much more difficult situation to be in. And it encourages no personal growth. But when we're talking about forgiveness and all like through the lens of forgiveness, I suppose it's an act of growth for me too. Like I am rising to meet you, and everything that you do, I am internalizing, and I am saying, I didn't like that, but that's enough. That's a belief system in me. So how am I going to find a way to allow that to be okay?
Mhm.
So that's a huge point. And I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time with my friends, with my family, is that I constantly need to be forgiving them moment in and moment out. Um, a lot of times we let these things build up and then we have to like really work on forgiveness over time. And this thing has been bothering us about that person for years and years and years. And all of a sudden it comes to this boiling point where we end up in a huge fight. And it's like, I don't love you at all. I've never loved you.
Mhm.
And that's pretty gross, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So it's always better when we can actively do it and when we can be conscious in our existence as this happens. And we've talked a little bit about awareness through these, but building that awareness that like that thing that person did that pissed me off is something in me. Like the thing that's offended is entirely within me. And that's the thing I have control over. That's the
Yeah.
thing I can change. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, and on that topic, before we jump to the other point that I made, it's like when you begin to forgive their flaws, your heart grows like the Grinch. And I'll give this example. Our other friend, um, if you're, I'm sure he's listening. We love you so much. You'll know who you are. But like, I watch this dynamic consistently play out between Connor and our other friend, where they just interact with people so differently, and they drive each other crazy. Like, they both drive each other, I think, equally crazy with how they interact with people. But like, neither is wrong. It's just different. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, and I mean, wouldn't you say that watching each other, I would imagine you both have more forgiveness for how the other person operates in the world, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I certainly would say so. Yeah, I think it's a funny example to bring up. But we do love in very different ways, and we do like
Yeah.
talk to people very differently, and we do like operate in the world in pretty like diametrically opposed kind of ways.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's really fascinating about it, is that personally, we don't have a ton in common. I mean, we have things that we like together, but for the most part, like our value systems are probably even aligned, but just the way it's all carried out is very
It's
different.
opposite. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's really funny, but like, I think that he and I have both kind of graduated to this place of understanding, which is that like, it's not about the things. It's not about
Mhm.
the interactions. It's not about what they're doing now. It's not about how they did that thing. It's about like being a good person in the world. And I think we
Yeah.
both have immense respect for the other one in terms of that. And just like the open-heartedness that he brings to
Mhm.
situations is invaluable. And
Mhm.
so as I've kind of transcended these little like idiosyncrasies in myself, I have this wherewithal to like understand how beautiful a soul he is, and like
Yeah.
how much he contributes, and how it is so different than what I contribute and how I
Mhm.
contribute, but that it's just as valuable and just as important that he's there. And in that I
Yeah.
find a fucking, yeah, I mean, like you said, a well, like an ocean
Mhm.
of love within me when I think about those things, because I've practiced the forgiveness of of him, right? But mostly I've just examined all these things in myself that make no sense. Like
Yeah.
when I watch him interact in the world and like get through these things, I go, wow, I've been caring about way too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the thing
And
is, like, the
yeah.
goal is achieved equally. You both achieve the goal, I would say, equally. It's not that one of you is more successful socially. I would say you're both very loved by your community, but you have completely different ways of being in community.
Shout out Adam. But no, it's immense. It is immense. And so much of this is that. Like I have found
Yeah.
fewer and fewer people that can rub me the wrong way as I've grown on this path. And I have deeper, much more deep compassion for people in the world. And this was actually another third point that you touched on, which we can go to, but developing the compassion to be loving and to be forgiving is a huge part of this. Like
Yeah.
I have been able also to start to look at things from a very different lens. Like I've had my own struggles in life, my own problems, whatever they are, and it's been really hard for me. And I need to be able to externalize that view and understand that every single person that I interact with has had their incumbent struggles and their inherent drama in their life. And so if they've come out of it acting a certain way or being a certain person, like I have to be understanding of that, because I do understand that this is really difficult. And I do understand like even some of the fundamental spiritual truths of life being mostly suffering, and our predicament here being mostly suffering. So however it comes out of any given individual is fine. I mean, it
Mhm.
is their expression, this beautiful expression of what has happened to them and who they are.
Mhm.
And for me to just kind of write that off and say, well, I don't think they should do that is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not honoring in any way, shape, or form their existence. and their story. So compassion is
Yeah.
at the like, I mean, in terms of loving other people is so important, and compassion just is that active forgiveness that you're
Mhm.
talking about, and love is just active forgiveness. Like if you can kind of flip the camera on me and what I can control, I can love almost anybody because all of the things that are offended are within me. I
Mhm.
don't have to go find the perfect person that offends none of those things. I find the person who offends all those things, and I learn about myself through the
Mhm.
process, and I grow.
Mhm.
And that's what's liberating about that. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I can't believe I've had that hang up for so long. And I think that, like,
Yeah.
you have to, I don't know what we do. What do we do differently? Give us an example, me and Adam.
Oh, you and Adam? It's the difference between like Adam is like, "Come here, like everyone's welcome. Where's the party? Like let's have fun. Everyone come in." And then Connor like sits with one person and is like, "How's your grandma? Oh, your half birthday's coming up. Like, oh, you're allergic to gluten." Like he's like, one has a lot of breadth and one has a lot of depth. I mean, you guys
Mm.
are both deep and you guys are both good with like groups. I don't mean one lacks. Don't be offended. But just, you've learned how to socialize almost opposite. It's like the difference between an Enneagram 7 and an Enneagram 2. It's just like one makes everyone feel included and one makes the person they're sitting across from feel very heard and understood is how
Mm.
I would describe the difference. And they're both really important and like really serve the community. I think the like the groups I'm in with you guys would be lacking if both of you weren't around. So it's very special to have these differences.
That's very sweet. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But I feel in me when Adam does that, right? Some sort of like, that's not enough.
Right.
Or like, you didn't like hear that person when they talked, right? Like, you're jumping from thing to thing. Why aren't we honoring this one very specific thing they said, or
Yeah.
whatever it is? And so I feel that in me all the time. And then I see what happens after,
Yeah.
and I see that person feel loved, and I see that person feel heard, and even if it wasn't the way I heard them,
Mhm.
right? Like Adam has taught me so many things about other people as I
Yes.
watch them interact with him, that like like you said, it's a totally different form of love, and I
Yes.
learned so much from it. And before that, I thought there was like one way to do it, and it
Yeah,
was my way, and I
totally.
was really good at it, and everybody should do it this way.
Yeah.
Um, and it's selfish. It's selfish. Um, and I'm really glad that he's been there to be that for me and for
Totally.
everybody else, for that matter.
Yeah, he makes like even the weirdest person in the room feel like they've always been a part of it. Like why wouldn't they be a part of it? You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
really cool. He's gifted in ways that you and I are not.
that's true. We'll have to bring him on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah. Yes. And he makes me feel like he gives me permission as someone who second guesses like if I should share. He doesn't ever second guess. Like he just shares. He's
Mm,
like, this is what it is. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. It can be a little withdrawn, but it's
hmm
neat. So
No, I think that's also a good segue here. Like, love is liberating,
mhm.
right? Like that kind of love that he gives you is really liberating. And that kind of love that he provides in a space is extremely
Yeah.
liberating for other people to like feel comfortable and
Mhm.
to and express themselves, right? I mean, he does that for you, but he does it for a lot of people
Everyone.
in
Yeah.
our community.
Mhm.
Um, because he's got no shame, so why should you? Right? And it's amazing. I mean, it's
It
incredible to
is.
like
Yeah.
interact with that person and understand that like all these hangups and all these like feelings of shame that I have like
Mhm.
don't have to be there.
Mhm.
That like people aren't leaving those situations thinking differently. That they just leave feeling loved.
Yeah. And they're like,
And
"Oh,
like
that guy's
also
so
this,
fun."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like, yeah, he's such a powerful teacher about this idea that's really important to me, but like it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you make people feel.
Totally. Yeah.
Um and I'm always like I love saying shit. And I always think I'm pretty good at it. But it doesn't matter, right? Like it's
Yeah.
entirely about how you make somebody feel.
Totally.
And if I could say it entirely perfectly, I could give you the best essay in the world. But if it doesn't have that heart behind it, that he's so good at like injecting into a hello,
Yeah.
right? Then it means nothing. Yeah. So it's
That's so
immense.
true. Yeah, but it's
Um,
like that's what I mean, look at married couples who have been together for 50 years or I'm going over to this couple's house 4 times a week now and they've been married for 70 years. 70 years. Like think about how many times they have had to forgive each other's annoying traits. I saw that on the internet. I stole that, but I'm like, that is so fucking true. Think about how they've probably forgiven each other millions of times. So much so that it's probably become second nature to just like shrug off each other's little quirks.
mhm. Well, that's what happens when we're in love, right? Like,
Yeah.
and people can kind of channel this. Like, if you've ever been like fully smitten, like the person can do no wrong,
Mhm.
right? Like, I will
Mhm.
make an excuse for their murder when I'm in love with
Yeah.
somebody. Like, they
Yeah.
probably just were really upset that day, and like, probably just got up on the wrong side of the bed. Like
Oh, yeah.
love is forgiving, and the
Mhm.
sensation is really forgiving. But we come back into the head very quickly and we stop forgiving because of X, Y, or Z. We're afraid somebody won't like us. We're afraid that person's not going to love me if
Mhm.
my friend is acting this way. Right.
Yeah.
Like, um, so love is really liberating. And I think it's a powerful idea, which is just like, I will forgive you. Right. Like to be the person, the counterpart is extremely powerful in that situation because it frees you up, as you said about Adam, to like explore your own expression and identity
Mhm.
and your own sharing. So you don't have to feel as afraid because you know preemptively that you're going to be forgiven for whatever it is
Yeah.
you say. Right.
Mhm.
Um, and the thing you say usually doesn't have the effects that you thought you're afraid that it was going to have.
Mhm.
But it frees you up to say that. Like knowing that you'll be okay at the end of this frees you up to do anything. And that's
Yeah.
the kind of love that we can provide to anybody in our lives. It's just like, hey, like I want you to go do crazy shit. Or I want you to like at least feel as comfortable as you can being yourself wherever you go.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna love you no matter what. That's tremendous.
Mhm.
And with that, people can do amazing things. And it feels
Totally.
so good to provide it.
Yeah.
Feels so good to be that. I just never knew that that's what my heart was calling out for. Like I always thought my heart wanted to be loved. No, my heart wanted to love. My heart wanted to be putting out love, not be this endless receptacle for it. Like it
Mhm.
wants to put out this limitless love. And I get to do that all of it today. And that makes me happier. Like I don't come home and like bitch about how lonely I am because I just spent the last 3 hours just pouring my heart out to everybody in a room.
Mhm.
Right? It's hard to be lonely when I'm giving that much.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be lonely when I'm taking, and wondering why there's not more.
Mhm.
Where is that person? Why aren't they with me right now? What are they doing? What's so more
Yeah.
important than me? Like, yeah, all these things that we do with each other. Um, and dating is a mess because of it. But that might be we can do a whole dating thing.
I don't think I have much to say about a whole dating thing.
No. Well, I don't know. It's
But oh, please.
Go ahead. You go.
Well, it's why Ram Dass was so successful in that whole like tell me the worst thing about yourself as he sits across from you and
Mm.
he just listens to the worst thing about yourself. Like we're hungry for it. And is anything really so bad? And I mean, when you sit across from someone and they were to tell you the worst thing about themselves, I don't think there's anything the people in my life could tell me that would. Everything makes sense when we live in such a crazy universe. It's like any reaction to this crazy universe makes sense to me. You know, however someone might respond to it, turning to drugs and alcohol, turning to sex, turning into a raging narcissist, numbing out on TV and online shopping addiction. I've been online shopping a little too much. Um, like turning to spirituality, becoming loving, becoming a nun, anything in between, like actually really makes sense when you think about how crazy this freaking world is. You know, I think it's easy to be compassionate when you take that into consideration.
Definitely. I mean, it's a matter of gaining that perspective first. That can be the hard part. I think, like, that does make sense. Like, yeah. Okay. So when we're growing up and we're learning to be the way we are in the world, we learn that you should do things certain way. And the implication there is that if you do it another way, people won't love you. And so almost every single lesson that we learn in a very formal sense carries this weight that is like, if you do it the other way, people are going to hate you. Like, people will not like that. So don't do it that way, do it this way. And so we learn how to be a certain way, and we hold on to the way in which we do things very tightly because we are so afraid that people won't love us. If it's done any other way, that means no love for Connor. So we have a whole bunch of these systems that are in us. And this is what true love can liberate, is these notions that we've been holding on to for so long of like, I wouldn't be lovable if I did this. I wouldn't be lovable if I was an alcoholic. I wouldn't be lovable if I was a sex addict. And so many of us fall into those things, right? Like I fell into alcoholism, and a belief I had was like, I am a total fuck up because I have become an alcoholic and nobody will love me now because I learned for my entire life that that was a bad thing to be and a very unlovable thing to be. And so I needed people to say that they loved me in spite of that, and needed people to say, I never cared about that, that I've loved you in your addiction and out of your addiction. I just want you to be happy and grow. Like, that unconditional love freed me to recover, and it freed me to embark on this journey that I'm going on now. And I stopped holding on to those things. And every single time I let go of one of those notions, I experience a new sense of freedom because I no longer have to do things a certain way. So what Ram Dass was doing right there is he's cutting into that. Like, what is that that thing you did that was so against your belief system that nobody will love you if you ever did it? What is that thing? Just tell me what it is. And then he loved them after they told
Mhm.
him. And that is tremendous because that's the liberation. That's just like, no, I have space for that and much more at the end of the day. And that's what we want to be, is just this vast, expansive love that allows people to have made mistakes, right? And to keep making mistakes. We don't necessarily give that to each other too often in this world. And we learn lessons a hard way. A lot of people won't do this. A lot of people will continue to exist in conditional love and conditional spaces. And they will be your friends, and they will be your family members, and they will be people you care deeply about in your life. They will not necessarily do heart opening work. They will not necessarily try to affect their perspective. They will not look internally when you've done something that offends them. Most people are just not going to do this. We need people who are willing to do this. One person who does this is worth 1,500 other people. There are so few people who can do
Mhm.
this. And that one person, what they gain from this is the ability to take love into every interaction that they have and to liberate those other 1,500 people who exist in this conditional space. It is so important that some people, at the very least, if not all of us, I'd love everybody to do this, but that if some of us could do this and channel a truly open heart that does have space for heinous mistakes in a life. Because many of us, as I know, make heinous mistakes in their lives. And many of them come to the table with about 50 of them. And they don't know why they've done them, and they wish they hadn't. But now they think their life is irreparable, and they fall into despair, and they lose it all, and they give up because they have this belief in them that they will never be loved. When we can love somebody through their flaws, and we can forgive mistakes, and we can forgive many things about that person, it tells them that they can be loved, and that this is something worth living for, and that if they do try to fix some of these mistakes, that they will be loved for it. And if they do try to do something new with their life, that they will be loved for it. They have to see that this is for something.
Yeah.
And that thing is love. It's all love. It's all it's ever been. So when we do this work, we become immense contributors to the world. And that's why I'm so adamant about opening your heart and keeping it open.
Yeah.
Closed heart judges. And judgment is the primary problem in the
Mhm.
world. We're really mean to each other, especially right now. You just like can't hold a controversial belief. You can't do anything without like getting some sort of windfall, some sort of pushback. And people feel very ashamed for who they are in the world. You know, if I don't have a wife and kids, if I don't have a bunch of friends, if I don't have a good job, that must mean I'm worthless. And we have a social structure which tells us this, which says if you're not successful, it means you've never worked hard, and it means you've never made your life worth anything, and you've never found purpose and meaning. And people internalize that, and then they recluse, they turn inwards, and they turn to despair, and they turn to self-pity because everything around them has told them that they're not worthy of love. We need people who know that everybody is worthy of love and can give that love. And sometimes they even teach us about love, as our good friend has done for me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a world where there wasn't an Adam and a Connor and a me. Like, if we all had the same exact childhoods, the same exact stories, and we all turned out exactly the same, it'd be so sad. Um, and I mean, yeah, like I can look across the table from each of you two and feel so much love, and then you start to be able to sit across the table from your own shadow, as you're describing,
Mm.
and feel the same forgiveness and love. What could be so bad in that shadow? What could be so bad? I mean, I'm competitive and vain and sometimes really mean. Like, is it so bad? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
No, I mean, it's not bad, right? Like, there's no right or wrong. And there's no real good. I mean, this is something that could open a whole can of debate, but like, nothing changes if it remains a shadow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, like when people feel loved, they begin to explore these things about themselves too. Because when it's like unbearable and like unconscionable that you did that thing, you're going to pretend like that thing never happened as desperately as you possibly can. I never did
Mhm.
that. I never did that. And you're going to live in this horrible denial spiral that's never going to let you ever feel any sense of happiness.
Mhm.
When somebody loves you and says like, that's okay that you did that thing. I totally understand it. Life is really hard. I've made plenty of mistakes. You go, and then that thing can be your lesson. That thing can teach you that that's the thing that is out of alignment with yourself and you don't want to be doing that. And it's okay, but we're just not going to do it in the future. Like, that's the growth.
I think it's even too, like, you can kind of take facets of it. Like, think about that age you were when you did that heinous thing. That thing you think was unforgivable. Or think about, like, for me, when I think about, I don't know, my 15-year-old self, my 16-year-old self, when I was like a bitch and like kind of goth and just like really hard to be around, I'm sure. And I was told by everyone around me. um, like, no, I don't want to repeat those exact patterns of behavior. But is there a way I can integrate the things that were so special about that 15-year-old self or that age you were when you did those heinous things? Like, to protect yourself, is there a healthy way to integrate those behaviors? I think there is. I think that 15-year-old version of me is kind of awesome in a way. Like, I don't want to treat people that way and I don't want to be that hard to be around, but I kind of am obsessed with her. So, do you know what I mean? That's integrating the shadow.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. Yeah, it's certainly not black and white, but you can't do anything if I'm holding on to this idea that this is unforgivable
Yeah,
or
exactly.
that this is horrible. And I'm just so, so cringy that I can't even look at it.
Mhm.
Right. Like, this is the ego's impulse to escape something it doesn't like about itself, is to flee
Mhm.
it, just jump to
Mhm.
something else. So love liberates us to be able to sit with that and go, what was that? Oh, there's some good in that.
Mhm.
Oh, this was really awful. Like, like you can explore this. But
Mhm.
while you are in total denial of it or in total shame about it, it just stays horrible. And it becomes a defining characteristic of yourself all of a sudden,
Yeah.
which is a total disservice to ourselves, but it's just what our minds do.
Mhm.
Um, I had an idea as you were talking. Oh, I was going to say, um, you're talking about growth. Everybody grows a lot and everybody changes a lot and everybody should grow and everybody should change. And we are going to grow and we are going to change no matter how much we don't want to. Love, true love allows for that growth and true love allows for that change in people, in places and things. Um, Conditional love tries to hold on to exactly that person that was that day, right? We do this a lot in romantic love, which is like, well, 5 months ago, they were just so sweet to me and they were so nice to me. And I don't know why they're not being it now, but I know they're capable of it. So I'm staying here because I know that that's the truth about them. It's like, no, that was the truth about them then. And there's a new truth about them now. These things will constantly change and the people will constantly change and they may change in ways you don't like. It's important that we do not hold on to an idea of who a person is and make that the only lovable version of them. And this is what we do all the time with the people in our lives. And this is how relationships end, is somebody just changes and all of a sudden they're extremely offensive to me. If I have an open heart, I can see that change happen in real time and I can create space for that change and hold it. This is more for me than it is for them, right? Like, most of the time, this is like an active. The experience that I have in this is that like that person's changed and now they're no longer lovable, and it's so sad that I've lost such a good person. That's not what's happening. Everything is changing all of the time, and people are changing all of the time. My heart needs to be open to the changes that come through in other people, especially as I'm loving them through change. And
Mhm.
those can look bad to me, but I still have to have that open heart. I don't have to understand. The heart doesn't have to understand what's going on. When the heart is open, it creates space without understanding. The mind needs to understand. I need to know why you did exactly what you did because I need to understand why you did this, and then I can forgive you. It's not about that at all. It's about being able to forgive as much as possible, because when I do that, my heart gives, right? My heart opens, my heart wells, and I have a good experience. This is my experience. It's not about them. I can't blame somebody else for my problems.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say, well, I'd be better if my wife was here right now. I can't blame my lack of companionship for my flaws. I can't blame my friend acting a fool for my problems. Like, we have to recognize that most of these things are within us, and that love is really the only thing we can give, and that we're all doing this together separately. Everybody is experiencing strife, and everybody's experiencing struggles, and they're growing and changing in different ways. Let's love the process. Let's love all of it and
Yeah.
all the divinity that's injected in that. You know, the best thing that you can do for this kind of thing is to try and remind yourself day in and day out that it's better to be loved, or better to love than to be loved. The St. Francis of Assisi prayer is powerful because it channels this idea directly. It's like
What is
better
that
to
prayer?
forgive. I can read it to you, but it's an old prayer, and they use it in AA, but it was also a prayer I grew up with in the Catholic Church. And it's a powerful prayer because it's counterintuitive. Like, we think that I need forgiveness, I need love. And it's just not true. It says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is
Hmm.
injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand,
Hmm.
to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are pardoned. It's in dying that we are born to eternal life.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Awesome.
It's like, yeah, it's one of the best prayers in the game.
Yeah.
But you can say this prayer too, but it's about channeling the sentiment that I am going to go out into the world today to give more love than I get, to understand more than I'm seeking to be understood, right? We have so many times throughout our days where it's just like, why don't they love me? Why don't they understand me? If they only knew this, they'd understand. No, don't get that out of your head. Go out to love. Go out to understand. Go out to
Hmm.
console. Go out to inspire. Don't go out to be inspired. Go out to inspire. These are the things you control. And your heart fills when you do this stuff. When you really channel this idea of loving more than being loved, you'll be amazed at how loved you feel.
Yeah. And people can feel it around you and people respond to it. So I would say my actionable step is look at the people closest to you, the people you already love, if you have people you love. And next time they get on their nerves, next time they get on your nerves, think to yourself, is there a way I can spin this and actually see that this is a quality that I really appreciate about them? You know,
Or can I
because it
love it
often
even if
is.
I hate it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
Or,
love
yeah,
the person
exactly.
behind it?
Mm-hmm.
Can I channel the human being in them?
Mm-hmm.
Do I hate things about myself that I do?
Right.
1000%. It's in forgiving that we are forgiven, right? When I forgive you for your shit, I forgive me for my shit
Mm-hmm.
without even consciously understanding that I'm doing that,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I let you be flawed, then I can be flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can be flawed, and they can be flawed. And everybody's flawed. We live in a world where everybody's pristine, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
pristine, and you're pristine. And when you're not pristine, I go, I put all this effort into being pristine. Why can't you be pristine?
Yeah.
No. And it's like, well, why don't you just drop the effort about being pristine
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens?
Right.
It's powerful. It's powerful. I do think that most of us walk around the world going, who's going to love me? Who's going to love me? Who's going to love me? Where do I get more love? How can I get more love? Gandhi, I think I've talked about this on this podcast, said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. If you want more love, you have to go be more love. That's at the
Yeah.
heart of this. If you feel in your heart something that says, I'm so lonely, I just want to be loved, it's your sign to go out and be loving to somebody. It does not have to be a romantic partner. It's almost never a romantic partner. Go love a squirrel. Go love a tree. Go love a stranger. Just go be loving, and that loneliness will fade away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not going to come back the way you think it is.
Yeah.
But love is powerful. Love itself is the thing.
Yes, it's the gateway. And that's the
Yeah.
thing is like when we just open the gateway, it just pours in. It's a flood. We just have to open the door. So
Keep it
that's all we
open.
have time for. And keep it open.
Mm.
Okay.
Right.
Find us on TikTok or Instagram at The Fall to Grace. Please send in any questions, comments, or concerns. Connor runs those pages, and he will.
That is. Cyan runs those pages.
I don't. I'm on strike.
I told Cyan I would make a podcast with her if she did all these things.
And Connor really appreciates, one thing he really appreciates and forgives about me is that I have bigger ideas than I actually have the wherewithal to bring into fruition. And he loves it.
I mean, I forgive you for sure, but I'm not taking responsibility for them.
All right.
But we
Well-
will get back to you, and we will talk to you, whether it be Cyan or myself. And we love you so much. We really do. And we appreciate all of the listening and all of the talking to us about it. We are here to help you and love you. And we're so grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Yes, and please leave us a rate and review wherever you're listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, give us some love. All right. All right. Love you guys. Be well.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.